Today, on August 20th, we continued our 40-book challenge with reading pages 16 to 24 of The Book Thief. Today we really focused on our narrator. And so we talked about different types of narrators. We know the narrators who tells the story. Sometimes they know little, sometimes they have a lot of information. The two that we talked about most today were the first-person narrator. That would be when the protagonist tells the story. It's told by the main character, so you get to know that main character and their thoughts pretty well. The other type we talked about was third person, which is the case in The Book Thief. Death is our third-person narrator. This is when someone else tells the story. It's almost like a camera filming the scene, so we know the thoughts of more than just the protagonist and what's going on with multiple people. So today you were supposed to think about what type of narrator your book has that you are reading for your 40-book challenge. I've included this link to the types of narrators, and as you can see, again, it talks about the first-person narrator, which is using I or we, so you know it's the protagonist telling the story. We talked a little bit about the second-person narrator, not very common in American literature, but this would be almost like a how-to because the author uses you, so they directly address their audience. So first you should do this, next you do that. It's kind of giving directions. And then last would be the third-person narrator, and this is, again, that observer, someone else telling the story. So there are different types of narrators, and knowing the type of narrator will help you into kind of understanding what's the author's purpose, why are they telling us this story. So Death is our third-person narrator. We know that Death likes to tell the story in parts and introduces the characters and kind of gives you a little bit of insight of what's going to happen in that part. And we discussed the technique that is called foreshadowing, again, when you are given a little bit of information or insight as to what's going to happen later in the story. And then Death continues to interrupt our story with side notes and, on things that he wants to tell us. Again, we revisited the very first time Death meets the Book Thief. We know the Book Thief's brother has just died on the train. We now know he's 6 years old, and they are both heading off to be placed into foster care with their mother. We don't yet know why. We know that the Book Thief found her brother first, and she kind of is having this dream about Hitler and is half awake, half asleep, and catches Death at the moment he comes to take her brother's soul. They end up having to bury her brother in the very next town. And at the burial, this is the first time the Book Thief takes her first book when the grave digger, who was a 14-year-old apprentice, drops it in the snow. So we got some more information about the Book Thief now, that she is indeed going to foster care. She had a brother, and this was the first time that she actually stole a book. You guys came up with a lot of vocabulary words today. Hopefully I was able to put all of them in. If not, I apologize. But these were definitely words that we talked about a lot. I did not link them, so it is your job to choose 2 of them and look them up today. Tell me the part of speech. Is it a noun, a verb, an adjective? Use it in a sentence. Draw a picture, and then, of course, define the word. So you can use a dictionary to do that, or you can also use the internet. Here's even more words. It took 2 pages because you guys came up with so many today, really tuning into interesting words. That is also what you're supposed to do every time you read. So again, taking stickies, anytime you come to an interesting word or word you've never heard of, you should be writing it down, looking it up, finding out what it means, or use context clues to see if you can figure out what it means. Or write the word down in your book if you feel comfortable doing that. So, basically, you are going to add your notebook today, those 2 new words. So again, I reminded you, the word that you're looking up, the part of speech, define it. Use it in a sentence, draw a picture, and then your second word will come here.